first it was just like, okay, WGI is not going to happen, and then competitions aren't going to happen, and then now we're staying home from school. And I think just from like a logistics standpoint, all the drums and all the equipment, like everything was just kind of where we last left it. The season's not going to happen, but we still have a really strong and a pretty young group. So let's kind of like try to regroup and start thinking about how we're going to plan for to make the summer work and getting into the next following fall season. So it was just kind of like a weird a weird transition time, which ended up obviously extending way beyond what we thought. I think initially when we started doing some summer rehearsals on Zoom, it was initially just trying to kind of figuring out like how the software worked.
If you're playing something wrong and the instructor can't catch it because it's on Zoom or virtual, then you're going to be learning that wrong part and you're going to be enforcing a bad habit.
At the same time, it could actually become convenient in your own little place, because you could actually then begin to realize, oh, I'm doing this wrong.
It just sort of evolved from that. I think from the initial just trying to see what the capabilities were, and then getting to a point where it's just like, all right, there's actually some cool features and cool insights we're able to gain by using Zoom that maybe sometimes go by the wayside. We knew from the beginning that we still wanted to try to give a show and some type of performance and some type of goal. Like, one of the big things right away was let's make sure we give all the sections a really cool feature, and let them be the focus. And so the Marching Band show, like a lot of the challenges were just kind of rethinking like how you structure a show. You're so used to building effect moments through visual and music combined, and your stage is usually a giant football field. But now it's like, well, now our stage is going to be a tiny screen. There's a lot of like cool, interesting challenges in trying to create that project. Along the same thing, we had Robert and Elliot and Sean kind of put together a new warm-up program, new warm-up packet that was supposed to challenge our really talented group.
Well, for Jamdemic, I would say that it was a 7-minute long warm-up. That was really hard to learn, just like remembering all the letters, and it felt like an entire like show on its own.
I mean, trying to train basics through Zoom is one thing, but then trying to put together these really intricate warm-ups and show design things, like it's a whole another challenge trying to do stuff like that. And I think for the warm-up packet, it was a fun challenge for sure.
At first, it kind of was like whoever like wants to do like private lessons, but then it became clear that everybody is just missing the group interaction, and furthermore, that group interaction was very important for our progress, especially our younger drummers' progress. So we started meeting up at local parks just to try and get some drumming together. So those were completely optional. We would just say, if you guys want to, because it's not mandatory, we're not going to mandate that students come in the middle of a pandemic and drum. But if they feel that they're comfortable and they're safe, then they're free to come.
Usually during our sectionals, we start off with very basic stuff, so we get warmed up and we have a better understanding of how we play. And then we will start tracking those. Then after like a few hours left of our sectional, we will start working on our show music.
Our district had the rule where we cannot be using equipment. So we would just show up and we would focus on conditioning and marching basics. And we did that over about a month of in-person rehearsals. All that basics training that you would normally get at a junior high level or during band camp, we were doing stuff like that.
One of the reality check for when starting in person was my step size, especially since I'm a very small human being. My legs are very short, so I have to push myself a specific distance to also stay with the group.
For the indoor, the focus really started shifting towards the development of a lot of our younger members. Now looking at our drum line for the spring season, it's almost 100% freshmen and sophomores. We have one senior that's kind of been sticking it out in the drum line, and then we have some juniors that have kind of been like really working hard and being really great leaders for the group. But the majority of the group is actually freshmen and sophomores now, and we're able to like really kind of dig into the nitty-gritty training the stuff that we basically missed out on from the summer and the fall. A really great thing that's happened recently too is just being able to get some of the middle school students that were actually able to be a part of these programs as the district has loosened a little bit on the restrictions. And so we've actually been able to invite some of the middle school students up to come and attend the rehearsals, and just kind of like start to get the Ayala experience, because with the middle school program, they're missing out on their training just as much as the high school students are. It's been cool to be able to get them involved so they're not just coming in completely cold and kind of unaware of how the staff works and the vibe of the group. So it's actually it's definitely a new vibe having middle school students around this early, but it's actually really cool because you could already see the students building some like connections before they're even into the high school, which is always a really positive thing, I think.
Our sectionals mostly comprised of drumming on stands and running through exercise and show book. And we also did a lot of tracking to get used to playing on the move. Oh yeah, it was also far less formal. Like people would bring food and there was a lot of messing around sort of in a way, but still being productive at the same time. But when we get into like a whole ensemble, it becomes far more like formal. We have to pay attention. You have to be just far more diligent, especially because comments that go to other sections could also easily apply to you. We also do a lot of marching as a group.
So the point of all that is basically to get everybody used to being back with each other, because obviously everything regarding the activity as far as moving with each other, playing with each other, playing together, just getting to do the activity together in real time with other people. You know, I'm sure like people have been out of the loop. Yeah, that's pretty much the point of these in-person rehearsals. It's just everybody to kind of tune in their feelings with playing each other and just doing the activity together in real time.
Yeah, so I mean, moving forward, I guess through the indoor, like I think our biggest goals have always been to number one, just make sure we get the organization through this time and still provide an outlet and an opportunity for all the percussion students to still be trained on their instruments, to still be a part of an organization, to be a part of a team. And I think that the directors and the boosters and the staff and the students obviously have done an amazing job of doing everything we can to try to maintain that. It's just like, okay, now we're trying to build towards this production again. And so what are the things that we need to do to make sure that's gonna be possible during the summer? And so that means establishing really good protocols and really good discipline within the younger members, but then also making sure we're looking forward and setting up the program to have an audition process, to have a summer schedule, to be able to bring back the staff and the design staff, to have the music, to have all that stuff, and the support of all the companies too that have always supported Ayala to make it what it was before, if not better. So that's going to be a challenge for, I think, every group in the nation. I guess trying to find new ways to make that work and do what you can to make it happen. That's the exciting part right now. So it is different, but different is not always a bad thing, and it just challenges us in a new way, it's always a good thing when it's all said and done, I think.